barriers women and women, female entrepreneurs face. Um, I'm gonna mention I think four of them, né? And you guys can share your opinions, your thoughts, and how you feel about it. Number one, psychological barriers and bias against women. Some females feel that they experience sexism, and some feel that when they have to pitch to investors, they are not taken seriously. Number two, the fear of failure because you are in a male dominated industry. So women feel excluded or patronized. The lack of networking that Pokoni touched base on, and mentorship. So it's hard for women in business to get such platforms because traditionally men go to golf courses, to shooting range, to private club membership things that help them network and build relationships and get them access to whatever industry they want to get into or funding. And as you mentioned, the pool for mentorship is so small. Like, who do I go to become a strategic consultant? I have to figure things out on my own. I have to do a lot of reading. I have to do a lot of research. And some of the people that I feel like I want to reach out to, they're charging a fee. I'm not yet there to pay that fee because I'm still a startup. I'm still trying to hustle funding. You know what I mean? And juggling being a mom, running a business because it's demanding. It gets complex and it's emotionally draining and costly. And also, men don't really support women in business. It's something that I feel like it's sensitive. I don't know how, like, I think it's just a small percentage. And I feel like there's not any engagement on that. So, what's your take on the pointers I've mentioned? Anybody wants to share something? Give an opinion? Don't be
Yeah,
shy,
no,
man.
I want to raise my hand first because yo guys, yo, I want to cry. So just a quick background. So what had happened is that I was part of a consortium.
Oh my god.
We lost her.
And yeah, we
Did we
did.
lose her?
Yes. Can
It's
somebody
probably her
repeat it?
network.
Yeah.
So anybody has
So I
thoughts?
think I can
Yeah, I
jump
think.
in.
Yeah, please
Um,
do. My connection is giving me issues. Please do.
Okay, Debbie, you want to take it?
I just want to touch on a few things that Molebogeng mentioned. um, skills that are relative to me, like the challenges or barriers that I had to face being a single mom, in being able to juggle being in the entertainment industry. Obviously, my work is like your nightlife work, and it was quite tough for me to be able to actually leave the house and go to work. How do I explain to my daughter that nna mosebetsi wa ka kwa bosigo, things like that. So it took time for her to actually get used to the fact that my mom has a different kind of work. So there were some gigs that I also had to cancel on the spot because she would cry and she would talk about things like we don't spend enough time together, and obviously she comes first, so I would have to make those tough decisions, you know and on the flip side of the coin, what are we going to eat if I don't go out to work? Do you understand? So it's something that I had to sit her down and explain to her that this is work. It is different, but it is work. I didn't choose it. It chose me. And that is the whole truth, nothing but the truth. I believe that it chose me. Otherwise, I wouldn't have, gone through all the challenges and overcome them in the 14 years that I've been a DJ and an events, specialist. Another thing also, just general support, I had to prove myself here at home that what I was doing was of good credibility, it was something that had substance. So I had to prove myself. I had to do things right. I had to have a lot of discipline with regards to how I conduct myself and where I go, what I choose to, how I choose to behave in the public, and also bringing back the moolah. I had to bring back the money. They had to see the money here at home to see that this is actually work. Because a lot of parents are not exposed to such. I took an unconventional career path. So I had to make it look as authentic as possible. So, yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah. So, I fully understand what you're saying, Jones. As women, there's so many challenges that we have to face. You could take one of my male peers and have him do the same business. The requirements for him wouldn't be the same. He doesn't need to look a certain way. He doesn't need to speak a certain way. He doesn't need to be likable. It's just about his brand. But when it comes to me as a female, all these things now start to stack up. You get somebody asking me if they want to buy some wines, like, okay, then they'll be asking me, do the wines come with you? And I'm like, okay.
Right. Sexual discrimination. Yeah.
Okay, like, no, they don't come with me. I'm offering a product, and my product is the wine, and you either buying the wine or you not. So as a woman, there's so many things that you have to deal with. Also, the fear of failing, like I'm saying, because there's so many things stacked up against you, so many things that you need to be cognizant of. It makes failing so much harder, so much, it's difficult. It's difficult to be a woman in business. It really is. Also being a parent, being a parent, you need to put yourself last. You need to put yourself last. It's your kids, it's your family, it's the business, and then you come after. And with us as women, we still want to do everything. We still want to have families. We still want to we want to be there for everybody. Our cups are always spilling into other people and not necessarily ourselves all the time. Also with being in the kind of space that I'm in, which is alcohol, you've got people who have established taverns and nightclubs, and is it really safe for me to be out there? Is it safe for me to be interacting with all those male figures and everybody out there? But we're overcoming these things. I'm very fortunate to be surrounded by people who support my hustle and who also support they support women. They support women. They also want us to grow. They also want to see us be ourselves, be independent. So I'm very fortunate to have the circle that I have around me. So, yeah.
Okay, so one of the pointers that I'd like to speak on is fear of failure, which has been at the top prior of my anxiety since I started in Ndlovu Guys. Reason being is because in our communities, in most cases, we see a lot of women that start a lot of things, but they normally just fade into it. We understand. So one year there was this lady hosting this event, or she was selling this, or she was about this kind of initiative. The next time I got sick, and things have just faded into it. So that is one of the challenges that I always try and motivate myself ukuthi I'm not going to be a one-time hit wonder. I'm going to make Indlovukazi work regardless of the circumstances that I have to come across as a young woman, obviously, regardless of the fact that they're going to question my wisdom, they're going to question my knowledge. How does she think that she can have 150 women under one hall when we know women are so difficult? They're not easy to get along, especially in our Black communities. So how does she think ukuthi she's gonna get 150 women with no alcohol involved? So that is one of the things that always motivate me and push me with, what, I'm going to do this, and with the pandemic that is happening, Indlovukazi always has to be postponed. Last year, I postponed it, but unfortunately I was pregnant. I couldn't host it at all later in the year because I was just a new mom just after things eased up. And this year, just as I was about to do it again in August, there we go again. We are back to level 4. So as you're sitting, you're thinking, should I just let this go? Because each and every single time I hit this spot, I have to start all over again to number 1. But I'm like, no, this time I'm doing it. I don't care. Even if we have to do it on the 31st of December, we're going to do it as long as it's something that I'm going to be doing or 2021. Even if 000 to 2022 hits and I'm in that hole trying to motivate one young Black woman, I'll do it as long as it has to take. Like, I push myself that it must happen. If I don't do it, no one else will come through for me. No one is going to come and save me and say, I'll take over from where you started. I started this journey, and I'm definitely going to make sure that in 10 years to come, it is something more beautiful and more bigger than what it has already started to be.